Hey yo, what's going on, G? Tyson Gaylord here, back at it again with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about this guy. I saw this video on Instagram of this guy, Christian guy. He made a video called Top 5 Atheist Arguments. So he basically gives what he thinks are the top 5 atheist arguments, and he explains why he thinks they suck, and I'm going to explain why they don't suck. Maybe. Or I guess I'm just going to share my thoughts. So this video, I saw this, for some reason Instagram has been recommending me a bunch of Christian videos, because usually it just recommends videos that align with my preconceived beliefs. But for some reason it decided, you know what, I hate you, Tyson, and I'm going to give you a video that makes you uncomfortable. So that's what it did, and I'm gonna probably make a series where I react, because I have like 6 of these videos on my iPad here. So this video is pretty long, it's like 2 minutes long, and there's a lot to talk about, because he goes over like 5 different arguments. So yeah, let's get right into it, okay?
Coming in at number 5, we have not enough evidence for the Bible.
Not enough evidence for the Bible? There's plenty of evidence. Just go to the bookstore. It's right there.
Did you know that there's more evidence outside of the Bible to prove Jesus' existence than there is Alexander the Great? And I don't see anyone saying he didn't exist.
Okay, well, this is just a stupid point, because obviously most atheists already agree that Jesus Christ of Nazareth, or whatever his full name is, existed. Like, obviously, atheist historians admit that Jesus existed. Like, that's not really a controversial thing. Like, no atheist is arguing that. They're arguing that the supernatural claims made in the Bible, like Jesus turning water into wine or whatever, resurrecting, coming back from the dead, you know, that's kind of, you need a lot of evidence for that stuff. That's what they say. They say there's not enough evidence for that sort of thing, those sort of things. Like, obviously, there's plenty of evidence that Jesus Christ existed, I think. I don't know, because I'm not a historian, but I'm sure there's plenty of evidence, and who cares if a person named Jesus existed anyway? That doesn't matter. The thing that matters is, like, the supernatural stuff, and that's what they say there's not a lot of evidence for. Like, I don't think there is any, like, evidence besides the stuff in the Bible for, like, Jesus' resurrection. I'm not sure. Let's continue.
Coming in at number 4, we have science contradicting God. Well, science says that the Earth is 10 billion years old.
Actually, the Earth is not 10 billion years old. It's actually 24.45216 billion years old, to be precise.
The more we look into science, the more it proves the existence of a creator.
I don't agree with that at all. So I think I think the opposite is true. The more we look into science, the more it seems like there is no creator. For example, just the fact that the universe is 14 billion, like, that's something that primitive science, if you will, didn't know. Obviously, we didn't know that the universe was 14 billion years old, but now with modern science and modern technology, we know that the universe is 14 billion years old. Which I think does not point to a creator. If anything, it does the opposite. Because, okay, if I were to make a sandwich, you know what I would do? Yeah, that's right. I would take the bread, throw it against the side of the wall, take the peanut butter, just smear it all over the counter, and then throw a jelly jar on, just throw all the ingredients everywhere, and then I would wait 14 billion years for it to reassemble into a sandwich. That's how everyone creates things, right? Oh wait, they don't. I don't even think that's that bad of an analogy, because, like, if the world was actually created, you wouldn't expect it to be as old as it is. And I mean, I guess it depends on what version of God you believe in, because some people believe in a God that created, like, life to exist, like, generally speaking, so not just humans. And some people believe in a God that created humans. What the fuck? Why did you just fucking turn on? So dumb. Like, some people believe in a God that created the universe for life to exist, and some people believe that God created the universe for humans specifically to exist. So if you believe that God created the universe for humans specifically, then yeah, modern science does not point to that possibility, because humans have only existed for like 300,000 years or whatever. I mean, the word human is already like a slippery term. It's like, what does it mean for something to be human? Because there was never a point in the evolutionary process where humans became human. Like, a monkey or an ape or whatever was the predecessor to humans didn't give birth to a human, obviously. It was like a gradual process. So like we like kind of arbitrarily decided that, okay, at this point 300,000 years ago approximately, this point and beyond is humans, and this point back is like whatever other species it was. Like, if God is really all powerful, he can just do whatever he wants. Like, why would he make us through the process of evolution, especially given that evolution is such a painful process? It's literally survival of the fittest, which means not survival of the not fit, so to speak. But that's getting into like the problem of evil, and I'm pretty sure that's another one. That's an argument he addresses later on, so we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't really give any reasons for why science points to God, but it's only like a short Instagram video. I'm sure if he had more time, he would give his reasons, but whatever. Let's move on.
The more we look into science, the more it proves the existence of a creator. Albert Einstein understood this.
Yeah, so this is like a stupid quote. So many Christian people online give the same quote from Albert Einstein, which I'm pretty sure is not even a direct quote from him, because I don't think it makes any sense once you break it down. Okay, first of all, so many Christians are like, oh, Albert Einstein believed in God and he's like the smartest guy of all time or something. It's like, bro, Albert Einstein did not believe in like a personal God. Like, definitely not the Christian God. Like, he didn't believe in a God that answered your prayers and cared about what humans did, like objective morality or whatever BS. Like, he didn't believe in that type of God. He didn't believe in free will, which is one thing that Christians believe. They believe we have free will and the ability to choose. Albert Einstein was like a determinist, I'm pretty sure. He didn't believe in free will. He didn't believe in like a personal God. He didn't believe that God was like this person that existed or some deity. He just believed in Spinoza's God, which is basically that God is the universe. So he's romanticizing the universe by calling it God, essentially. So yeah, this quote, the more I study science, the more I believe in God. Like, that quote doesn't make any sense when you realize that the God that he believes in is just the universe. The more I study science, the more I believe in the universe? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a misquote. I'm sure he said something similar to this, but they twisted his words to make it sound like he believes in God. Some religious nut job probably did that back in the day or whatever. But yeah, this is just stupid. Okay, moving on.
Coming in at number 3, we have contradictions in the Bible. And you have to realize that all of these contradictions are either like translation differences or just like completely taken out of context.
I highly doubt that, but I don't really care because the Bible is boring and I don't want to read that. Yeah, I don't like the Bible. It's so freaking boring, man. I don't want to read that. So yeah, I've never read the Bible. I mean, I'm sure I've read parts of it through like reading through Instagram bios of people quoting the Bible, but I've never read it in full. I think I tried to read it once, and I just don't like reading at all. It's so boring to me. So I'm not going to talk much about this. But one thing I will say about the Bible is, one thing I don't like about it, it seems, from what I've heard about it, it's very like story based, and like it doesn't give you direct answers. It's very allegorical and like poetic, and I don't like poetic bullshit, man. I like things that are simple and straight to the point. I like listening to people who are very simple and rational and level-headed and don't talk in such vague ways.
Let me ask you, if there was any clear contradiction or even semi-clear contradiction in the Bible, would we still be talking about the Bible and Christianity 2,000 years later?
Yes, because humans are freaking stupid as shit. It's like, that's not a good point at all.
No, if there was any contradiction, it would be immediately ruled out as false.
Yeah, that's assuming that humans are just perfectly rational beings who are like, oh, there's a contradiction. Oh, this makes no logical sense. I'm gonna dismiss this. It's like, yeah, that's not how people work. Like, obviously, people are still gonna believe whatever they want, even if it makes no rational sense, because that's how people are, if you haven't realized. But anywho, move on to the next one.
Number 2, we have God seems hidden.
Alright, so this is probably, these last two, the divine hiddenness arguments and the problem of evil, those are like probably the two best arguments against God's existence, or at least like this specific version of God, because like you can believe in all sorts of different versions of God. Like, for example, Albert Einstein, he believed in Spinoza's God. It's like, God, this is like the problem with people. People ask, oh, do you believe in God? But it's like, that's such a vague, like, you have to define God before you ask that question, because God can mean so many different things. Like, there's probably so many infinite versions of God that are out there. So many versions that probably haven't even been, like, officially written down or whatever, and, like, turned into a religion. Anyway, let's get into it.
If God is real, why doesn't he just reveal himself to each person individually? Well, he kind of does. He speaks to us through things like our conscience.
So our conscience is like our sense of like right and wrong or whatever. But I don't think, this doesn't prove that God is like showing himself to us, because that can be explained, like our sense of right and wrong. I'll just tell you what my view is. I think our sense of right and wrong comes from evolution, basically. So we've evolved a sense of morality, I guess you can call it. But really what morality is, under my view, is basically empathy. So when you see someone else hurt or in need of help, you have a natural desire to help them. And why do we have this? How is this evolutionarily beneficial? Well, it's easier to survive in groups of people than it is alone. If you only cared about yourself, then you wouldn't help other people. And if they didn't care about you, then they wouldn't help you, and you would just go surviving on your own. And then you would be more likely to die, because it's harder to survive alone than it is with groups of people. The reason why is because obviously you can probably gather more food if you do it in groups of people. You can fight off predators better, you know, whatever. It's easier to survive in groups. So that's why we've developed this sense of empathy, this desire to want to help other people and to care for other people. So when we see someone get punched in the face, it seems wrong because, oh, I care about that person. I don't just care about myself, I care about other people. So that's like one naturalistic explanation for our sense of conscious. How do you say that word? Conscious?
Things like our conscience.
Our conscience. I can't say that word, it's so dumb, whatever. So yeah, that our conscious does not necessarily point to God. There's other explanations besides God.
He gave us the world, the earth. He's given us...
He gave us the world? Well, again, that just assumes that the world was created, but there could just be other naturalistic explanations for why the world exists. It doesn't necessarily have to be God.
He's given us so many signs and so much evidence that he exists.
Really? Has he given us so much evidence? I don't think that's true at all. He hasn't given jack shit evidence. I haven't heard jack shit from him. Like, if he wrote in the sky, hey, Tyson Gaylord, I am God, I am real, and I exist. And, like, he doesn't even have to show it to everyone. It could just be, like, only for me to see or whatever. Like, there's so many possible ways that he could show himself to me. But he doesn't.
He's given us so many signs and so much evidence that he exists. It's just up to us to believe it. He's not going to force that on anyone.
This is such a stupid thing that Christians say, like, oh, he's not going to force his belief on us. Like, first of all, the way you're using that word, like, oh, he doesn't want to force you to believe in him. Like, what? Like, I want to believe that God exists or something else exists. Like, that would be, like, that's in my best interest. And I've literally screamed at the sky, like, God, are you real? If you're real, please show yourself. Please just show me anything. It's like I beg to have, like, an experience from God, and I've gotten jack shit. Like, the closest I've ever come to believing in God is, like, weird coincidences. But weird coincidences, when you think about it, are just a normal part of the natural world. Like, coincidences aren't weird when they happen, like, once every so often. Like, once every couple months or whatever. Like, that's normal and expected in a natural, indifferent world. Coincidences. Like, anyone who wins the lottery, they probably think, oh, I've been blessed by God or whatever. But when you really think about it, it's like somebody has to win the lottery. Like, anyone who would have won the lottery would have thought, like, oh, it's a miracle from God or whatever. But it's like, somebody had to win the lottery. But if a coincidence happened, like, every second of every day, then it would be harder to write off. It would seem less likely that it's a coincidence, and rather it's like someone like intentionally doing this to you or something. But yeah, like, other than coincidences, I've had literally nothing that has told me that God exists. And I am willing, you can't use the argument because he's saying, like, oh, God doesn't want to force his belief onto you. But it's like, what do you mean? I'm totally open to believing in God, and I've gotten jack shit nothing. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people. So, like, I don't buy that. Like, that's a really weak response to that argument. I don't think there is a good response to that argument. I think that and the problem of evil, which we're about to get into right now, I don't think there's any good responses to either of those arguments.
Coming at number 1, we have the problem of evil and suffering. This is by far the most commonly used one, and honestly the hardest one to explain to non-believers, because they feel as though if there's a God and he's all good, why is there evil? Why is there suffering? And that's understandable. Sometimes as Christians, we wonder this too. But ultimately, it was humans, it was us that decided to rebel against God. We live in an evil and a broken world.
Alright, so this is like the typical response that Christians give, like, oh, why does God allow suffering? I guess what they would say is that humans cause the suffering with their free will. Like, the world was perfect before humans, and then we destroyed it because we're just so bad. Which I just reject, because first of all, if you've watched, I've made a video where I talk about that I don't believe in free will, and I don't think it's possible for free will to exist in this world or any world. I think it's impossible. I think it's a nonsensical concept, free will. Like, a lot of atheists, they like grant free will. They're like, okay, yeah, some suffering can be explained by free will, but there's still animal suffering or whatever. But I don't even think you don't even have to go that far. Like, I don't think free will, like, I don't think it makes sense as a concept. It doesn't make any sense to me. And let me explain why briefly. I don't want to get all into it, but so I think that people always do what they want. Like, if you analyze your experience, like, I've done this before, like, going through your daily life, like, literally analyze why you do everything that you do. And I think you can realize that there's always like some desire behind the things that you do. Like, you can only do what you desire. That's what I believe. You only do what you want, what you desire. So like why did I itch my head right now? It's because my head was itchy. And obviously I didn't choose for my head to be itchy. It just was itchy. Why? I don't know. There's some scientific reason, whatever. But obviously I didn't choose to itch my head. I mean, I think most of our, if you really think about it, like, most of our actions are like habitual. Like I just itched my face again, and I didn't even think. When my hand started moving, like, I only like realized after the fact, like, oh, I just itched my face or my scalp. But anywho, yeah, I think if you really think about it, if you're honest about your experience, you would quickly realize that free will doesn't exist. I don't think it's that hard to understand. If you believe in God, you believe that God designed us the way that we are. He designed us with all these terrible desires to do terrible, violent things, to be greedy, to be selfish, whatever. So many terrible attributes of humans. And I don't think we can be blamed at all, because God is the one who designed us. He caused us to be the way that we are. It all comes back to God. God is the ultimate creator of us. We had no free will. I don't believe in free will. That the whole concept, again, I don't think it makes any sense. And I don't think it makes any sense. Like, some people will be like, oh, it's so obvious that we have free will. Like, I remember seeing Trent Horn, he said in a debate one, like,
there are people, Alex, who, philosophers, frankly, you're one of them, actually, who don't believe in the existence of things that I think are patently obvious. Free will.
What do you mean it's so obvious? Like, maybe if you're just an NPC loser who never thinks about deep philosophical topics, it's obvious. But if you actually think about it, it's pretty obvious that you don't have it. You don't really choose anything. When you really analyze every decision that you make, every action that you take, it ultimately does not come from you. It comes from external causes, whether that be God or evolution or whatever. So I don't think humans can be blamed. I mean, I could talk about all these topics for hours on end, but whatever.
And we just have to understand that he is good, and there are things that we can't see that he can because he's outside of time.
Okay, that just seems like such a cop-out answer to me. Like, so many people just default to like, oh, well, God works in mysterious ways. Like, that's basically what he was saying. Like, God works in mysterious, like, we don't know God's reasons ultimately, but I'm sure he has his reasons. Like, that's just a cop-out answer, bro. I'm not gonna buy that shit.
Obviously, there's a lot more to these issues than what I stated. I just said the easiest, quickest explanation.
Yeah, so just as he said, like, this is a complex topic, and I'm sure a lot of smart philosopher people have like went more into depth and all this shit, but whatever. I just wanted to share my thoughts. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, y'all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.